Good afternoon, 8th graders. This is going to be page 51 in your notes. We are not going to put a title for this, so go ahead and leave that area blank. Each of you has a ruler, and we're going to construct a right triangle. Now, using your ruler, you have to be kind of careful about how you draw the sides of the right triangle. Let's lay it completely flat, so not at an angle. And you don't start at the very left of the ruler, you start at the first dash line where this red arrow is, because that's 0. If you start at the left of this, it's not going to, these numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, they aren't going to be accurate because you have to start at 0. So from here, I'm going to draw the base of my right triangle, and I'm going to make it be 3 centimeters. So there we go. Down the ruler, and write down that it's 3 centimeters. Now, a right triangle is going to have another leg that's going to be exactly perpendicular, and it's going to form a right angle, 90 degrees. So I'm going to turn this around. Get it as straight up and down as possible. And what I'm going to go and do is I'm going to bring this down to 5. And I'm going to make sure 5 is on there. And I'm not going to put it like this because you don't want to be, that make the where I start it, because I'm going to draw it on the ruler, be inside of the 3 centimeters. So I want to make sure that the ruler touches it right there. Okay. Now, when I start drawing, I'm not going to draw from the top of it. Remember, I'm going to draw from the first dash line from 0. So let's go ahead and draw this side. Okay, a little bit more. Oh, let's try that again. So like this. Okay. And that, oh, what happened? Having some issues. Let me see if I can erase that. Okay, delete that guy. Okay, so that's 5 centimeters also. So I'm going to put 5 centimeters. Okay, now these two legs are just going to be connected. I'm going to draw this little box there to say it's 5 centimeters. So I'm going to turn my ruler so that they're just connected. And I'm going to draw, this side's going to be called the hypotenuse. So you kind of have to turn your ruler so that, so remember it's from the dash. So the dash right there, see we're at the bottom, and it looks like I need an angle of just a slightly more. So now I'm going to bring it up like this. Is that going to be good? Oh, a little too much. Okay, now try that. Okay, if I can get this right. Oh, I don't know if this is going to, oh. Okay, let's see about this. I think there. Maybe this will be it. Okay. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so starting from 0, again, I'm going to draw. I'm going to put back just slightly, so I've got room to draw. From like there. Okay. So start from 0. I'm going to draw the hypotenuse, straight line from here to here. Now I have to look to see what it measures. So if it went from 0 to a little less than 6, and each one of these small dashes is a tenth. So it's a tenth less than 6. So that's 5 and 9/10. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say that this is 5 and 9/10 centimeters. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw these squares. Like we're going to think that there's going to be squares on each of these rectangles, on each of these sides of the triangle. For instance, this bottom side, I'm going to use a different color. I'm not going to measure it exactly just because I don't have time, and it's kind of hard to do on the smartboard, but with your ruler, you probably can. You want to draw a square that has the same exact size as the base of this triangle. So 3 centimeters, so that means this side is 3 centimeters. So is the bottom, so is the right. Now we're going to do the same thing with the left leg, the 5 centimeter side. So draw a square like this. Okay. Actually, I'm going to redo that. I think that made that more of a rectangle. The sides were a little too long. So more like, so like here, like that. Okay. So all sides are 5 centimeters. And then we're going to do the same thing with this rectangle. So square like this. My best. You all know I'm not the greatest drawer.
Mike Lazar in the office. Mike.
That was an announcement right now, Mike. Okay, so I got my squares here. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to find the area of these squares. So pretty easy for the one at the bottom. So 3 centimeters times 3 centimeters. So the area is 9 centimeters squared. And the area of this left one is 25 centimeters squared. And then to find the area of this one, I can't do that in my head, so I'm going to get my calculator out. And we're going to do 5.9 times 5.9. And that gets us 34.81 centimeters squared. Now, there's a relationship here, and it didn't get exact, probably because my measurements were not exact. But I want you to see if you can figure out what the relationship is here between these squares. Okay, and I'm not gonna tell you, but you also, so your homework is you need to draw your own right triangle. You have to measure it, just like I measured it. And make the bases, make the legs, the two sides that make up that right angle, those have to be whole centimeters. So you don't want to do the decimal centimeters. And when you measure the hypotenuse, you have to make sure you're as exact as possible. So you don't want to round. You want to do like I did. I maybe should have gone to the hundredths. It looks like I was probably too high based upon what I know the area of this square should be. And then what you're going to do is you're going to draw the squares too. So draw the squares and find the area and see if you can tell if the same relationship you noticed up here is true for the squares whenever you draw your own right triangle. It cannot have the same sides as I did, so it's got to have different sides. You each have rulers, and that's going to be the rest of your homework, and that is the end of the notes.